This is you. No offense, but you're completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Everyone is. I am too. The universe is just so big. We live in a galaxy with over 200 billion stars, and our galaxy is only one of hundreds of billions. So, odds are there are some aliens out there, right? So why haven't we heard from any? This is a complex question that was first thought up by physicist Enrico Fermi in 1950. In a casual conversation with a friend, he said that it was odd that there aren't aliens anywhere to be seen, considering the vast size of our galaxy. He said that the probabilities just didn't stack up, that life had too many chances to develop across billions of planets, that surely one of them would have intelligent life. And since then, the Fermi paradox has been perplexing scientists around the world. So let's get to the bottom of this. I'll first talk about hearing from aliens. The way that organisations like SETI search for alien activity is through the use of radio telescopes. They point at a spot in the sky in an attempt to hear something. But as I'm sure you're aware, they don't exactly hear much. The closest thing anyone's came to a find was in 1970, when Ohio State's radio telescope picked up a strong narrowband signal, called the WOW signal. Links to alien activity have yet to be proven though, but surely you would expect we would have heard of something by now, right? Well, to really understand, we need to play a little game. This line on the screen here has 20 squares. I'm going to choose one at random, and so will you. If we get the same square, you win. Okay, choose, go ahead. This one here was mine. You might have got the same one as me, I don't know, but the chance of that happening was only 5%. But now I'm going to make the game a little bit harder, turning that one-dimensional line into a two-dimensional square. Now your odds of winning are 0.25%. So choose a square now. This one here was mine, and I think you can see where this is going. Now that square is a cube. There are now over 8,000 squares to choose from, and the chance of us getting the same one is 0.0125%. And that one there was mine. You can't even see it. It's on the inside. But now imagine that the sky was set up in the same way, that every single millimetre was a square. Imagine how many there would be. Too many to count. And the only way we can pick up a signal is if one of those telescopes are pointed at the exact same square as one of the alien races sending a message to us. And the chance of that happening is infinitesimal. And the odds of that only get worse when you consider how the universe is 13.8 billion years old, and we've only been looking for 70 years. That's a 0.00000000051% of the total time aliens could have been around sending messages, and we just missed them all. That's how incredibly narrow the window was. Another potential reason for the lack of activity is something called the Drake equation. Whoa, dude, that's too much math. I feel you, but it's actually not. All this equation does is take into account all of the conditions required for intelligent life to develop, like the amount of stars, how many of those stars have planets, the number of planets with a suitable environment for life, then the number of planets that actually have life, and of those planets where intelligent life emerges, and of those intelligent life forms, how many of them emit radio signals or something that we can pick up and detect, and finally, how long they do that until they all kill themselves. It's a bit more complicated than that, but who really cares? And all of that combined tells us how many intelligent civilizations there are. And what is the answer to that, you ask? Well, we don't know. So the odds of finding aliens aren't looking too good, but they only get worse from here. All of the previous scenarios require aliens to willingly try to communicate with us. Who knows? All of the other civilizations might be ruled by an evil dictator who deprives them of extraterrestrial knowledge. We just don't know. And going back to the Fermi paradox, another argument brought up was that any intelligent life form with the ability to do so could colonize the entire galaxy in around 10 million years. And whilst that may sound like a lot, the Milky Way is over 13.5 billion years old, so surely in that time period there has been at least one species that decided to take over. But as far as we're aware, there hasn't been even one. And there are many different potential explanations as to why this happens, such as the annihilation theory, or what I'm calling they just aren't there lol theory, but I think that there could be something else. Do you remember that game we played earlier? Well, let's have another round, but I'll make it a little bit easier this time. There are only 3 squares now, so choose. Well, this square here is mine, and you might be thinking, hey woolly cow, that's cheating. And well, yes, you're right. I'm going to talk to you about dimensions for a while, and I'm no expert, so if you're a quantum physicist, please don't get mad at me. We are all three-dimensional beings. We live and comprehend in 3 dimensions. But now imagine that you're a one-dimensional being living on that line. You can't see my square over to the side. You can't even begin to comprehend that there could be anything off of your line. But if a normal person was looking at the line, they'd see the square and just think, hey look, that's a square, no big deal mate. And scaling up now, there are theories that our universe is actually the surface of a 4-dimensional hypersphere. And just like how an ant can't comprehend the sheer enormity of the Earth, or how our little 1D person over here can't understand off the line, we can't comprehend this higher dimension. Who knows, there could be some higher dimensional aliens out there watching us right now that we can't even begin to imagine. I probably should have put this at the start, but snapping back to reality for a second. All of the theories and stuff I put in this video are just that, theories. They're not guaranteed to be true. But there is one thing for sure, however, that if aliens spend millions of years getting to Earth, developing technology so powerful that they could build Dyson spheres and have massive quantum computers making decisions for them, that they wouldn't go through all of that just to probe some random people on Earth. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been my longest video by far, and as a result, it took ages to make. I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe, just to encourage me to make some quality content, which this definitely is. So, see you around. Like if you did, don't if you didn't. See ya.